Alright, we should be live unless my internet somehow just cut out. Why do I have no internet connection on that, but I've got an... Wait, do I have an internet connection on here? Surely Renegades, fuck Australis, yeah surely. Dude, has my internet cut out? It's just on my laptop. Surely Renegades, fuck Australis, yeah surely. Dude, has my internet cut out? Dude, did you watch my video? Dude, oh fuck. The lighting's too... Just turning it. Give me a sec. Wait, I just need to work out like a few little things and it's gonna be so much better in here. Honestly, I'm fucking keen. Bad predictions. What were wrong with them? Like the first stage, I got 7 out of 9, which isn't amazing, but obviously Fnatic, a team that everyone thought would go through. That's what fucked me up there. And then, oh yeah, fuck, I changed the Wi-Fi password, didn't I? So I need to just join it. What were your picks? Because the thing is, like, the only thing is that, like, it doesn't matter anymore how many points you actually get, just as long as you get 5. That's all that matters. So that's the thing. Alright, should be connected and we should be good. Cool. Like, what exactly were your picks? But yeah, is everything working? Dude, I just hate the lighting in here, it's horrible. But, I mean, there's honestly not much I can do right now until I get the monies. What am I gonna do? I'm keen. I need to change the title of this, don't I? Alright, I can announce that I'm live. I haven't done this in ages. Dude, I've got like so many notifications that like, you know, like the Google Chrome notifications that come up and you have to X out all of them for some weird reason. Yeah, I asked for your pics. What were your pics? Like, out of curiosity. But like, you get my point. There's not, like, you don't really get too much out of, like, securing all of them, like, all the pics. You know what I mean? Hey man, how's it going? Not too bad. Not too bad. What are you doing? Shells. Wait, where's my phone? On the bed. Alright. Yes, players. Renegades Frio. Alright. I feel like this stage would be a bit more trickier in that the picks that you would go for, like that, there's more obvious picks, and that's where the upsets can happen easier, if that makes sense. Oh yeah, dude, should we play? We'll play some wingman before. Yeah, casual wingman. Huh? I'm confused. Oh, you gotta eat it. Fair enough. What's highlight and ends? Dude, I don't know, I have a feeling ends are gonna go out 0-3 at this point. Like, they're doing horrible. Hellraisers though, like, surely they should have been able to be ends, but they didn't. And what are your picks for this stage? I'm just looking at you because it's all, that's just weird. I don't know. Dude, okay, well, that'll do. Wait, dude, I'm not I can't get comfortable. They play at like 12:30, 12:50. Huh? The chicken didn't kill me. Dude, imagine if the chickens could actually do damage. How did I not die there? Oh yeah, I need to put my gay thing in my name. Dude, peek me. Oh fuck. I haven't played this video game, I don't know. Okay, so wait, YouTube. It's sassy, mate. There. And now we're gonna pull in all the people. Alright, using one. Why? Yeah, you are cool. Dude, I should've won that round. Yeah, because I saw a notification come up and it said weird.
Yeah, because it was the girl apparently
Oh yeah, yeah. 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 I think we're talking about bananas and junk. I don't even know. So on. Nah. What do you mean when we're dating? When?
Fountain or something.
Dude, we're gonna win this round.
Reload.
Dude, if you told me that I've got 4 bullets. Oh my god. I'm trying not to freak out. Cause like... Okay, whatever, just tell them everything. I love you too. Wait, is this dude just gonna stand there or what? I'm done. It went down the wrong one. You have to ask Jasmine. I also know if you can come over to the farm. The 28 delay. I don't know. What? So yes or no? Like yes or no?
Why do I have to make the decision?
Because you're the only one that has to make the decision.
Let's go, my brother. I'm throwing a flashbang.
Tag 30.
We lost them all.
You'll message her. So yes or no? Oh my gosh, I give up.
Nice! Stay here. C'est kill Tolier. That's the way we do it. There you go.
But no, I'll wait till she decides.
Lock and load.
'Cause it just depends on everything.
Laying down smoke.
If I'm keen for tonight, hopefully Renegades fucking win though.
Drop.
What do you mean drop? He's on his fucking side.
Alright.
He doesn't have to read the message.
Nice. Let's go. He goes out.
Tag
Stay
11.
near it. Deploying flashbang. Throwing smoke. Grenade out. Terrorists win. Bomb has been planted. Let's move out. Smoke.
Sorry? Sorry? What did you say? To what? To what? Sorry?
Grab your gear and let's go.
Fuck. Behind. Behind.
Terrorists win. Let's go.
Did you buy head armor?
No.
Maybe you could buy a utility. Might be useful. Oh, he's fucking left. Thank God. He's fucking useless anyway. Haven't even been able to play this stupid game. Alright, you ready? All you do is go like this. Go like that. You jiggle out and in, and I'm fucked now. I'm so fucking done. Oh, I'm actually so done.
You are the people who found esports, drove esports, and believed in it.
Wait, where else? So actually, it's us. We created esports.
Welcome. I'm at the desk now, and we are going to be jumping into this one. I was expecting more. I don't know why. Of course, this is the Acer Predator pre-show. I'm your host, Alex Machine Richardson. I am joined by two of the brightest in the game. We do have Chad Sponge Birchall and Sean Gares. Gentlemen, it's time to talk about your favourite video game again. You up for it, Chad?
Yeah, good afternoon. Just quickly, do you think I undo this button?
Let me see.
Go like this? Or do you think I go just back?
Look, okay.
Maybe just go.
I actually think no, keep skipping. I think that's the look because now you and Sean's seductive deep V are in sync.
Sure. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Fine. I don't
And
know
talking
how
of
see my deep V.
deep V's, V for victory, vitality. There we go.
That's a segue.
Let's start concentrating a little bit on them because this is a French team that did battle through some open qualifiers. Perhaps a bit of a repeated story at this point because their success is not as much of a surprise due to the names in attendance, but this is still quite a
Okay, I'm not streaming.
was chaos.
That was
Crazy stuff. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and help explain this to those of you that haven't been able to keep up with the Vitality story. We're taking a look at their road to the Legends stage.
I'm trying to find this stupid stream.
I think at this stage everybody was extremely well prepared and a lot of surprises and the results speak by themselves, right? But for us, we just managed to grow each and every game. That's the most important thing because we started very slow, losing inside in a pretty bad way. And then after the second half against Greyhounds, we managed to just put it together. It gave us some confidence to, again, step up when we needed it. And then Future was a very good game because even when we were pushed to our limits, we managed to come back and to keep ourselves together and take it round after round. And that's very, very important for a team to go on and win tournaments, right? You need to take it step by step and not rush things, and that's what we did. So we grinded that win out, and now we got to get better for the next week.
This is big. Solid performance to start them off, and I think big plans for the station in their own right. But Na'Vi, the first question, before we can understand truly how to gauge Vitality, we have to have a quick touch on what Na'Vi they were playing against.
There was two thought processes with Na'Vi, at least in my mind, coming into this tournament. The first was they're still a bickering couple that's going to fall apart after this tournament and it's done and dusted for that CIS roster, or they're doing some of the best sandbagging we've ever seen in Counter-Strike. And if you
They got 2 wins, Chad.
Yeah,
You can see it there on the right.
If you read Simple's interview with HLTV.org, it alludes to potentially, you know, maybe a bit of mischievousness with the press.
He can't be. I mean, that's next level.
So ridiculous.
I
right?
know, but I hope it's true.
But when you watch them, they look like the same old Navi, right? The same electronic showing up, the same simple showing up, the same slow-paced mid-controls into side splits. So nothing's really changed when you watch them.
Navi,
They have had a couple
they're
of
just able to play
adjustments,
more
such
loose,
as
they don't
Inferno,
have as
so
much
switching out
pressure.
playing that B bomb site on a
Yeah.
bit more of a permanent basis. So slight adjustments, which means they have been continuing to work and maybe plug the holes that they have. And they're going to need a deep map pool because once they have to go up against the big dogs, like today against the Liquid, they're going to need to show more than a Mirage or an Inferno.
Yeah, the big dogs. I mean, I want to talk about the British Bulldog, actually. Alex, he managed to perform for Vitality, and a lot of people have been wondering whether it's A, pressure, B, inexperience that were costing him a lot of frags here at the major, but he managed to keep himself well and truly at the top of the scoreboard throughout a tough slog versus Na'Vi. But this is what we want to talk about now. With it up on screens, guys, what's jumping off the page? Start with you, Sean.
Oof, what's jumping off of the page to me has to be Renegade. Still being undefeated in this major run. Obviously, I mean, 3-0 in the previous stage, now 2-0 here.
Yeah.
They're going up against Astralis today, though.
It's okay, sure. They get a free swing, right? They get to step into the ring against Muhammad Ali, and he says, "Just hit me however you want," because they have nothing to lose in that matchup. They've already proved themselves. They've already proved the fact that they can take it to the upper echelon of teams by defeating FaZe. Now, a best of 3 against a team like Astralis, and they have to ban Overpass, like the team go up on Nuke.
Or actually Na'Vi Liquid, I don't know, it's gonna be close. I reckon Liquid actually, but Na'Vi, they don't have as much pressure on them, I guess.
We'll definitely continue to check that out.
So that could play into their favour.
Over what's coming up here in the swing matches as well. MIBR G2 can be first on the A stream, so keep your eyes on that one. Intrigued to see how that shapes up. We'll of course talk about it momentarily. I actually have fears for the likes of Hellraisers. So we had a big performance from NIP yesterday versus Liquid, or at least that's my take on it. What's yours? I mean, they did look like an NIP that were pushing a Team Liquid. You had expectations.
I think that they're playing, you know, the type of CS that they have to. You know, they're winning the rounds that they should. Yeah. They're not having too many crazy clutch rounds. They're not having massive swing rounds going in their favor. In that Liquid game yesterday, those rounds seemed to go in Liquid's favor. Yeah. So NIP, they're playing to their level, I think, and that's a positive sign because their level is a top 18.
And what level is MIBR? Another question we're going to be talking about here at the desk.
Dude, are you pumped?
Get some answers. They struggled in their opening game. I want to make sure I get this right. 16-3 loss versus the Cloud9 boys, of course, from the Challenger stage, and a win versus Complexity with a solid second half. It's Zeus standing by with Frankie.
I'm here with Zeus, who is the coach of MIBR, and I'm intrigued to know why you decided to make the swap from Liquid to this classic roster.
A lot of history between us. In Liquid, I made some beautiful history. They took me in, they took Taco in really well. I love the organization, the players, everyone there. But in the end, after 2 years living by myself in the United States, I just wanted to be reunited with family. And MIBR, the players there, we made history together. We moved here with nothing together, and we accomplished everything. And there's just too much history there to be denied. And I feel since these are the people I'm going to spend 360 days a year with, might as well do it with the people who I consider my brothers.
And as you say, you made a massive impact with Liquid. So what's the plan with this newly reformed roster?
Dude, I'm fucking pumped though.
For MIBR now, we want to make history again. We never want anything less. We're practicing a lot. The results yesterday didn't show it, unfortunately, but it's kind of due to us being 3 months without playing a tournament. We did put pressures on ourselves because this is a legendary roster, even in our minds. But day by day, every match, we get a little bit better.
Well, let's knuckle down and talk about those matches then. Quite a slow play style for the team, not quite as aggressive as we're used to seeing them.
Yeah, actually, it reminded a lot of MIBR from actually last year, the 2015 second rounds. That just showed how nervous we were. That isn't our play style anymore, not entirely. We mix it up a lot, but you kind of fall back into bad habits when you get caught off guard, and that's what happened. Cloud9 surprised us in the key rounds, broke our economy, and shook us up a bit, and we just fell into bad habits. Can't let that happen.
And people watching the A stream didn't see your match against Complexity yesterday, so talk me through what happened there.
Against Complexity, we didn't have an amazing match either. We had a lot of mistakes on our CT side, leading to only 8-7 half. After that, we started to get a little bit better, a little bit faster, like you said, in our play style. We started surprising them, won the crucial rounds that we needed. The players actually started making the plays that they're supposed to, and we finished off at 16-9, I think.
So give me a prediction then for the result against G2 today then.
Hope to win. 16-5, 16-6, I don't care. 16-0 or 14, it doesn't matter, we just need to win, but if we play our game, we know we can stomp them.
Can't wait to see you play your game. Let's head back to the desk.
It's good to have Zeus back on our screens and an MIBR Jazz. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot to take away from that. This more of a human aspect from that interview, the sense of I'm spending 360 days a year with this team. I'd rather do it with the people that I consider my family, my brothers. I mean, I get that, and it's a team that, of course, have achieved ridiculous things in Counter-Strike, Sean.
Yeah, Zeus has always been very vocal about how much he wants his teams to practice, how much effort he wants to put into the game, and he had that in the previous, resilient lineups he's been a part of, which is why he's probably gravitating back into this lineup.
Can't blame him. Can't blame him. I want to continue. Sorry, Ted, I'm not cutting you off,
No.
but we are going to continue that conversation because MRBR are up first versus G2. Zeus says it could be a 16-5, but all he wants is the win. We'll see what G2 and our analysts have to say all about all of that after our break.
Yeah, I saw one of your. Okay, I thought you said videos, but yeah, video. Yeah, I saw it, man.
The champions of ESL 1 Cologne. Do you remember?
Welcome.
Think you've seen it all?
Yeah, dude, I've seen it all.
ESL 1 returns to Cologne in 2019.
But then the support. Yeah, I saw that one, man. Have you seen all of my YouTube videos? No. It's not too bad. I hate the lighting in here so much.
Think you can't capture a clutch in full resolution while streaming the play to the world? Watch this. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
You've seen all my videos? Dude, you need to comment on my videos.
The synergy of brute strength. Born of elite core power. To thrive under pressure.
Oh, dude, you're not staying up. Come on, you can't dog the boys. Come on.
Prepare
2 hours in Renegades.
Go
That
forth
play.
and conquer.
Every frag, every moment. I run, but I never hide. With knowledge comes power, and power is to be wielded wisely. Which is why, as the expert, I bet with Betway. If you know CSGO, then you'll know the best way to bet on esports is with Betway, for the love of the game.
Intel Extreme Masters is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, Acer Predator, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, HyperX, Bedway, and Hey Safeguard. Vodafone presents the pre-match.
Round 3 of our Legends stage here and the second day of IEM Katowice 2019. It's the major. We start Counter-Strike year with a big one. The Spodek awaits, but for who? G2 and MIBR are next up on the chopping block. One win, one loss, and one rather harrowing loss for MIBR. Before the break, we heard Zeus talking about why he moved and explaining a little bit as to what's going on in the inner workings of the team, perhaps suggesting a loss of confidence at the moment once they've got those 5 back together. High expectations. We'll see if our analysts have the same. We do have Chad Sponge Birchall and Sean Gares with myself, Machine. High expectations, I mean, there's no doubt about it. Looking at the way other teams ranked them, how we've ranked them, who's put them in their pick'em, looking at you, and me. wasn't the best start. It wasn't the most telling start for them.
Not by any means, and all the excuses have to go out the window. I'm not saying they make excuses for themselves, but ones that we set for analysts from behind the scenes, like communication. That's no longer an element that they have to worry about. This team has already been successful in the past. Now you look to them going back to this roster, bringing Zeus back in. To me, this reminds me that they're going back to the culture of success where they found it before. But the question mark is, has that bar shifted now? Because Astralis have definitely raised it. Can it just be as simple of, 5 guys who have a really good relationship with each other? Does it have to be a change in mentality outside of that?
They were fraggers too.
But you look at G2 though. G2 have 2 players, Kenny S and Shox, previous major winners, who have been humbled, who have been pushed all the way down to the doldrums, who have failed, and now they've had to rebuild rosters, and they have to go in a different pattern. They can't continue doing the same thing.
I actually saw Vitality's Apex take to Twitter as well to praise Kenny S for his individual performance, saying it's good to see Kenny playing that way again. And I will definitely be diving into what we expect from Kenny and G2, of course, taking on MIBR. But first, while we're on the topic, why don't we learn a little more about MIBR?
Made in Brazil's problems in 2018 were numerous and complicated. They were unable to secure any of the big trophies on the circuit. 2019 sees their team returning to their roots in many respects, bringing back in Taco and Phelps to recreate their strong 2017 lineup,
made it.
but with
Dude,
the twist of 2016
like, do you watch much CSGO?
To the ranks. MIBR want to wind back the clock to the days when their team was one of Counter-Strike's most clutch performers, always capable of battling back into any game and infamous for breaking opponents' hearts in close matches. Former best player in the world, Coldzera, hopes this will be the lineup to again provide him the vehicle from which to dominate.
Fair enough. Well, Renegades, which is the
and they are made in Brazil now, of course. Let's not forget the likes of Taco must be thriving in this environment of, hey, back to Portuguese.
We have to check with Tommy that we can call them made in Brazil.
I mean, sure, Mibber. I'm sorry, I'll do it properly. But Sean, either way, names aside, it's good to have Taco back in the roster.
It is. It's very good to have Taco back. I think he's one of the best bomb site anchor / support players we have in the game. He plays such a selfless style of Counter-Strike. But honestly, MIBR needs more than Taco to come up big. They need more than Phelps. Fallen has really kind of fell off so far this term. He's the 4th worst performer so far in this stage, and they can't have that out of their star AWP player.
I think if you look at that Cloud9 game, right, the fact of the matter is they were finding territory in the mid-rounds. They were able to get mid-control, they were able to get banana control, but it felt like nobody wanted to take ownership of the situation. If you're going to play that default style of CS where you're aiming for picks, once you get to a certain point, somebody needs to pull the trigger, somebody needs to make the call, because you're just going to be stuck in limbo. 20 to 15 seconds to execute onto a bomb site, it's not enough time when a team's holding onto utility like Cloud9 were.
Certainly not, and we'll check out which map they're going to be holding utility on. It will be Inferno, famed
but
for
to give you some
the
context
success of
as
holding
well,
utility. That works.
MIBR, they used to be a team.
Yeah, I think we have to.
They had a lot of good execution.
This full roster
they were able
used
to get
be a
into
thing
bomb
back
sites. They just weren't able to get anything done from there.
See, I actually think they got bullied by Navi.
Yeah?
I think Navi just disrespected them at every turn. Simple was playing so aggressively in middle, Simple with Electronic just looking for eco frags left and right. I don't think Navi ever felt threatened in that game, so I don't know what to expect in this matchup right now, because they both looked flat on Inferno yesterday.
Okay, so 2 flat teams on Inferno. It was, I'm trying to clarify, was the Inferno game, that was the Cloud9 loss, right?
Yes, 16-3.
So they lost 16-3.
And then they came back to it.
To a Cloud9 that got 16-0'd the same day. This is a real pickle.
Yeah, so sure, like if Zeus said they were, feeling good in practice and stuff, and they were scared or they started slow or nervous or whatever, then sure, we can factor that in here. But what we've seen so far from MIBR doesn't, guarantee them a seed that they've been given, right? It doesn't sell them to me as a top team right now because they haven't had a chance to prove it. Right now against G2, this is one of the teams that we were thinking to be a whipping boy in this tournament, and now G2 have taken down big earlier in the tournament, so everything's up in the air.
Everything's up in the air and everything is spinning, certainly is over on the stages, because we are going to be getting once again into this one. G2 MIBR taking to the stage right here, right now. Strong team, let's not forget.
But yeah, this is group stages still. But
versus 1.
Dude, I'm so excited for the playoffs. It's gonna be feet.
That is so sick.
Spicy shot on headshot, and we start to get them in to the arena. And let's not forget, they get a solid upgrade of their stage as soon as they do complete those 3 wins necessary. MIBR first, of course, with their fancy jerseys. But this is a team that we really need to see more from. Our analysts here baffled. I'm sure they are as well. Their coach seemed to be on a similar mind... that's not an expression. Let me think again.
Had a similar mindset.
Mindset. There we are. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well,
it's too early.
I think that, you know, it is only the best of 1 so far, and this is a chance for them to redeem themselves on Inferno and just show it was the opening best of 1 of the tournament where they got blown out, Alex. So with G2 coming in, this is a team who, towards the end of the Challenger stage, proved their worth on maps like Dust 2 and Cache. But now as we go forward, they have bigger opponents to take on.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. I have to say, I am warming to the concept of G2, Sean. This is a team that, admittedly, they had to work so hard to get out of challenges. 3 map brawls versus Fnatic and Tyloo, who pushed them to their very limits. Individuals like Shox, like Kenny, instrumental factors in getting to the Legends stage. Sweating versus Big, though. I mean, I don't know how much I should read into that. 16-13. Inseparable between the two of them, and we have been critical of Big so far.
I actually had a lot of hope for Big coming into this event, but they started playing Mirage, which is a map they didn't play. G2 has looked phenomenal, like you said, ever since, you know, those first 2 maps they played in the previous stage. Ever since they played, you know, Fnatic on those last 2 maps, Tyloo. I didn't think they looked very good against Na'Vi, if I'm being honest, but they have turned around in a significant way.
One of the things that we did note, at least with G2, was against some of the teams they were playing against in the Challenger stage, they had more experience just because of the body, Kenny S, and Shox factor. Well, that goes out the window now, you know. They're the ones with the least experience because they have Lucky and Jax who are new to this level. Now, they're going to need to step up. We have seen the double AWP setup come in from G2, but Inferno is not a map where you can run it as easily on that CT side. You can be punished a lot more with the economy. I'm expecting in this game, especially on the T side for MIBR, a lot more decisiveness for them to be a lot quicker, a lot of higher pace, and to take the fight to G2.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think the MIBR we saw yesterday, we will not see again today. They won 3 gun rounds spread out throughout that first half. Their economy was never in a good spot, and they were actually getting map control in a lot of these rounds. It's just small communication breakdowns that cause them to go at incorrect timings. I think we see a much better MIBR here today.
A much better MIBR meeting a much better Kenny S as well, of course acknowledged by former teammate Apex recently in the social stratosphere. I think Shox as well has been a conversation given how invested he is into this. He has once again been given the responsibility of leadership, and it's been a real kind of tale of success and failure mixed into one big pile of Counter-Strike from Shox. He's been given this leadership intermittently, and have we ever seen him truly thrive under that leader banner?
I think the problem is with Shox, he has so many ideas and he's such a big personality that he probably wrestles the leadership back or undermines any actual in-game leaders that he's had over time. Right. So you look at him in this position and calling all the shots. The problem that comes in is he is the flex player. He's the guy running around doing whatever he wants. It's so difficult to focus on your crosshair while trying to micromanage the rest of your team in that in-game leadership position. So he probably needs somebody to step up as the second in charge to make mid-round calls when, you know, he's not able to do that.
I will say that Shox does do an excellent job of creating executes and things like that for G2 to basically have a safety net to fall back on. Unlike a lot of the other teams here, they have very innovative strats that we've seen. The Cache B bomb site execute comes to mind. They had a couple cool executes yesterday on Inferno. So that kind of stuff for them to fall back on really helps Shox as an Indian leader, in my opinion.
So we've got our checklist. Fallen, we need to see some frag from him. His ADR is closing in on 50, not really fragging in his opening gambits with MIBR. Kenny S, of course, his counterpart on the G2 side. We want to see some more strong executes and bringing the fight. Now that's MIBR you're talking about there, Sean. You want to see MIBR bringing the fight to G2.
I do. I want to see Fallen be aggressive in this first half. We didn't really get to see much out of their CT side yesterday, but in the previous major, we saw so much out of Fallen on that CT side. He was revitalized as an opera, in my opinion, at that major, and we need to see that side of him come here.
Yeah, just the last thing with G2 on those executes, they did have some, you know, good variation, but there was some details missing. There was one on the B-bomb site where they actually did wall smokes and tried to wrap towards CT. Jax actually mollied off his teammates coming through construction, and they lost the round, so they can't have those misplays happen against a team like MIBR here today.
Yeah, let's not forget, of course, new additions to G2 yet to be acknowledged. It is Jax and Lucky. It looks like we're jumping into the pistol. It's time to jump in. A best of one. Inferno again for MIBR versus G2. Henry, Sado, take it away.
Inferno again. You've got to think that might be a problem for them because it certainly wasn't convincing yesterday, and they continue to rely on it on the MIBR side. That said, G2, is this the chance that they could actually get a step ahead after a very shaky start to this entire major last week challenger stage, even now in the new Legends?
We'll have to see, Matthew. Both of these teams suffering a loss here on Inferno. It is going to be G2. They're making their way through spawn, and well, I guess we're not actually going to see much here at all. It's just going to be Shoxy who will be holding towards the bottom middle. Very, very aggressive on the T side as they are shut down completely. It's going to be Phelps that closes things out, and a very fast banana split coming in there from G2. They managed to get towards spawn. You'd think that's actually a nice point of access towards the bomb side there, but the CT's caught in transition, find every single headshot, and it will be Cold Zero Fallen. Phelps delivering the pain. As we get into the second round here, we are going to see, of course, the force buy from G2. They have found success with this, but no bomb plant means no rifle. It's going to be stuck to just pistols here as they go PD-50 CZ, a couple of smokes and a Molotov. Jax has got the MAC-10, but I'm not sure this is going to be the buy that finds them the round. We will see, though. They are up against 4 MP9s. An interesting approach there from MIBR, just a 1 rifle. That's in the hands of Fallen, and the analysts discuss his struggles recently. Good grenade, though. Doesn't do too much damage.
Does not at all. It's Taco. Tries to work back in toward Banana. Excuse me, toward the apartments. It's further, it's going to rotate off Banana. Smokes down top mid. Body's still waiting on the inside of it. G2 trying to answer back with a force by these pistols with armor going against SMGs. The fact that they've got the helmets, the MP9s, don't necessarily mean that they'll be able to mow them down cold. He does get one. Taco finds it, but there's the trades. Pistols have just as much potency in terms of movement speed getting inside of the site, and with the range of the MP9, it certainly becomes limited. Phelps gets it much closer now as Shox realizes he can't plant the bomb. They're all over him. They'll finally get him down inside of the site. 3 staying alive. Importantly, so is the AUG.
Another quick approach there from G2, this time focusing towards the A side. They managed to trade out a couple of kills out of the apartments, but that force buy against the MP9s falls flat. Now I'm going to have to take the full eco here. It's going to be 3-0 MIBR. Almost certainly at this stage, G2 can't afford to purchase anything up at this stage of the round, so we'll see them just have Glocks, maybe a Deagle or 2, as I say, Shox and Jax are that way inclined. So their buy will be pretty decent next round, but Kenny S might be limited, might have to take a few compromises in terms of his full setup with the AWP. We will see as this round comes through. We're expecting a clean sweep for the Brazilians. Shouldn't be too much of an ordeal. The question mark lies in the next round. If they keep all 5 players up here, do they upgrade one of the weapons to an AWP perhaps, or do they hold on to the MP9s and go super aggressive? I would say maybe throw one of them away against the AKs, get the AWP out. Let's get Fallen online. As for now, CT's aggressive as ever. Maybe a little bit too aggressive, Matt.
Maybe so. As Fallen gets 2 more, making a 3rd. He does hold that AUG in great position, but finally gets caught out by Body. He'll drop down, and that means now they open up B site just Fur, rotating back inside of the angle. Back to the position at the top of CT, and he's got Shox and Body down on entry, so they hold true with the guns. The force buy in the previous round limited G2 significantly. But as you say, what comes out now? What's the call? Fallen goes down after getting 3 kills. He's got 6,100. I think that's rather evident, is it not?
Absolutely. He does bring out the AWP, and it's a classic map for him. MIBR haven't performed in it so far. Yesterday, losing to Cloud9 16-3. They couldn't get going at all, but we'll see if this good start leads to a more successful structure overall. Will they be able to get the nice full buyout here? They are going to keep 2 MP9s. The AWP comes out for Fallen, and I feel like he has to be a little bit more active at the start of the round with the lack of firepower. They're going to be suffering here. Incendiary thrown towards the underpass, and as Kenny Esther gets past, he does actually get the AWP for himself, but like we said, there will be compromises. He has no armor. That's actually quite a big deal on the T side of Inferno. You're very vulnerable to grenades and, of course, the bullets, as they actually get fast mid-control here. CT's in a very passive setup, and it is going to be a quick trade of frags there.
Certainly is. Taco. Smoke to his left inside of the door means that he could have focused toward quad, but elects to back off of it. They will bring Phelps over to support that angle, and he's got the AUG. So he's got the range to his advantage. Kenny can certainly take that range and stuff it right up the window because he's got the AWP. He's going to try and open up toward the pit position, which we know is such a strong position to hold from. If they wrap from quad now, they pinch them in. And you can see that Fallen's still holding on that side. Taco, good peek. 2 with the MP9. That gives Phelps an easy shot towards Shocks. Kenny's rotated around to the apartment hallway instead. Just missed on that. Somehow gets away with it, though. Drops down. How's he missing these? Normally, Kenny's got one of those at least.
Yeah, that's not looking to do good for him. 3 opportunities. Not the easiest of shots, but yes, by Kenny S standard, at least one of those is connecting. And as you saw, no armor. Very vulnerable to the pistol there, taking down 1 bullet, even after Fur missed a couple of shots. It is going to be 4-0. MIBR looking alive here today. And they got a double AWP setup going into the next round. Cold Zero recovers Kenny's AWP. So they've got a lot of cash and good foundations going forward as well. You can hear the tactical timeout has been called, I assume, by G2 at this stage, as their money has reached maximum loss bonus, but no real plans coming through. Means they have got a few that can't really fully invest. Body and Kenny could afford Galil's Kevlar. If they want to get an AK, they wouldn't have helmets, which is actually a big deal on Inferno. And Jax, same story for him as well. So it's just Lucky and Shocks that can bring out the full buys. Will they want to do that? I would say probably wait, considering the way this has gotten so far. Let's not let it spiral out of control and be limited for the rest of the half. Take the partial buy here, have the full buy next round, and actually get Kenny with some armor, get the utility you need, and start running some defaults and some executions. We'll see what the decision is as we get into the next round. They haven't purchased anything yet. They've got 2 seconds left until we enter the next one, and it is going to be the partial buy coming through. So those CZs, Deagles, Mac-10 once again for 2 of the players. Cold Zero knows he has more than enough freedom here to pick towards right down those T-steps.
Finally got
no real chance of an AWP on the other side.
Oh my god. Cole was staring at that and still got absolutely wrecked by Kenny. He knows that angle. He's not unfamiliar with standing in that position and trying to get shots down mid.
He's going to get the AWP. Oh, he's done it. Not bad. He's got armor as well.
This is significant, yeah. Armor op. Got head armor on everyone else. If they could perchance get another rifle up to complement the 2 Mac-10s, then they're really onto something. And Kenny goes right back around to the same position, tries to fire into the smoke. Can also start to put a little bit of pressure on Banana at this point in time, something they hadn't done so far in the round, but he can certainly open that up with a single shot toward Fallen. It would be off first off, but he's got other ideas. Oh my goodness. Who's going to spot the other first? I was going to say, I think Fur would be able to spot the Shin. Nonetheless, it's not a kill. He gets the clip through the wall. Kenny goes down to 28, but Body has Phelps, tries to switch over to the AUG, gets caught out by Taco, who now buries himself inside of the site, but around quad they go, and G2 has position. They've got Fur as well. Kenny is opening up the round, 2nd kill, and they know Taco's stuck inside, so Shocks tries to swing. He gets him on the CZ as well.
Here we go, looking much better for G2. That opening 1D from Kenny S has led them to success here on the A site. He manages to recover the AWP. A little bit of a plucky play through the smoke as well, grabs it. Could have been maybe possibly naded back or taken away by the CTs, but couldn't react in time. He grabs it, manages to get a 2nd kill, and then they swarm the A site. Fallen will have no choice but to save the AWP, but MIBR will be fine with that. They know G2 are going to be a dangerous team, and those sort of rounds happen. It's not like they did anything catastrophically wrong. Just a very nice shot from Kenny S, and sometimes there's not much you can do about that.
Fallen still doing damage to keep that AWP up. So they get the 4-0 start. Naturally, Fallen went on to the AWP, but G2 finally respond and get their first T-sided round. It comes on the back of an eco, but a phenomenal deagle shot, it has to be said, to find the opener. To make sure he got the op as well, secured that with a smoke. No one else in position, and Cold was the one that went down. Didn't look too pleased with it. He sits at 4-4, Cold. No one really far and away outreaching any other, but Kenny, those were his first real impact kills. He's only got 3 in the game so far, but how spectacular was that?
Yeah, like I said, Cold Zera, he, as far as he's aware, they don't have an AWP. That's a safe angle to hit, and a 1D at that range with that angle is incredibly difficult. It's surprising to see Kenny has missed those initial AWP shots we saw in the first gun round, but then goes on to hit those Deagles. So maybe we'll see a little bit more out of him as the game progresses. CTs for now boosting behind the half wall, trying to get vision and take full control of the banana area. You can see Fallen actually boosted on the half wall right now. He's got the AWP. Ideally, they want to get him set up so he can be a solo player. Allow Fur to fall back towards A. He's actually going back towards that side now. It puts a lot of pressure on Fallen, but with the AWP on the half wall, he can take a shot, drop down, and exit safely.
Nade in, that's going to do damage. They're all there. Whoa, that works too.
Before the nade lands?
Yeah, just wrecks him with a double shot. One was a dink, and then the second was a follow-up body shot. M4, obviously. Gotta love that. 2 bullets through a smoke with an M4 and get a kill. It's about as perfect as it gets. Kenny's gonna try and make amends with it. He will this time. We saw him miss a few shots toward the pit 2 rounds ago. It was a 1-on-3 situation, but maybe he could have done something with it. This time he pulls it back. The problem is they don't check the cubby. Furs inside of it. Flash, Molotov wants to get himself out of the angle. Hold it for now, maybe. Because with those flames, they won't be able to push through. And if they do, it's tradable. They'd have to go wide to find the cubby position, and then Cold would be immediately on the case.
So Cold is coming to back him up right now. He knows he's stuck in there, so if they focus on his position, they can work together. Nice shot from Fallen. He does exactly what he has to there. He's on the half full. He's got a bit of information. He's legged Lucky and actually fallen back passively to the side. That's going to encourage Fur to rotate. So now it is a 2-on-2 on the ace side. That's what G2 want to finish up here, but they haven't really got the time. 20 seconds. They need Kenny has to get a quick pick here and then make their way towards the bomb site. Both players quite passive on the CT side. Taco waiting in the pit here, just looking to deny the plants. They've already done that by the looks of things. As Lucky goes down, Kenny has tried to escape. Not going to happen. It's a harsh reset, but remember, G2 did win a partial buy before, so they haven't been completely financially ruined. As you can see, a couple of players still there able to invest, but considering they only got 1 kill in the previous round, I would say the force buy not really applicable here. If you had got 2 or 3 kills there, you could really go for the reset, but is it worth it at this point? You're already 5-1 down. You can't really afford to keep throwing rounds away at this stage. We'll see whether they take another tactical timeout, perhaps. This is a best-of-1 environment.
Well,
and they will.
Yeah, there's one being used right now because you could see Zeus was already being quite vocal, so obviously he'd been unmuted, which can only happen at pre-match, halftime, and during one of the potential 8 tactical timeouts before that they would call.
G2 have only played Inferno twice as a 5. They lost to Na'Vi 16-7 and beat Avangar on it. Decent result against Avangar.
Very, considering that I'm going to say right now, I love underdog stories.
Yeah.
I love when people underrate teams and they show them and prove them wrong. I think Avangar is that team right now. I'm a huge fan. James is spectacular. Kikert is so damn explosive.
He really is.
And Krizen's been pretty effective at just holding down angles and getting multi-kills. That team's got good ingredients to make a case in this major. Speaking of making a case, how about making a statement down middle? Phelps, again, this time he's not pushed banana. He's gone from mid. I make reference to the last time we saw them play G2 when Phelps was on this lineup and it was catastrophic.
Yes, indeed.
This time they get one at least.
Well, we'll see what can be done. This is the partial buy from G2, but they've managed to win rounds with pistols before. Aggressive again against the lesser weapons. Need to be careful here, but luckily it looks like they'll be okay. They take a couple of dinks and swap over some weapons, give Taco the AWPs. He can play very defensively, but it looks like the round is done. You can see they're all quite low as they make their way in towards B. And there's going to be a flashbang coming in the air from Fur, but he's still vulnerable here as he will go down. This could yield a bomb plant. We shall see. Fallen can't really commit to this, but grenade looks decent. Might be able to follow up with a frag. It doesn't quite connect, but look how low they are. Shouldn't be a world where MIBR give this round up, but all of a sudden it turns on his head. How has Lucky managed to hit that shot with such low HP? And now Taco with the AWP, he has to wait for his teammate to go in first.
Certainly does. Cold finds the immediate kill on the Shocks.
Good incentive.
Low HP as well for Kenny and Lucky. That forces them out. Lucky hits it though. He only had 7 HP. One tick of the Molotov, he goes down, but he gets the shot off on Cold beforehand. And it's Kenny with nowhere to go. Molotovs are everything. They force them off the angle. I think Taco's got just enough time on the defuse, and it will now be a 6th round for MIBR.
It just about comes together there. Taco with the clever plays with the utility. Lucky to pick up a second incendiary from the floor and take his total up to 7 kills, 4 deaths. Great work by him. AWP didn't seem like the best situation for him, but when they were so low, he could flush them out and manage to win out the round. Good job by Lucky to actually bring the round that close. That was a partial buy, but unless you win on the T side, it can be very disappointing to get that close. This was the kill from him to actually get a rifle, and then he started doing real work with that AUG. Scoped in, managing to hit the headshots, and before he went down to the flames as well, got his 3rd. 6-1 though, as Fur will try and get aggressive again towards the banana area. They've got incendiaries down towards T-Steps here, and we'll see if he wants to go any further. He's going to challenge T-Steps. We've talked about his aggression maybe being a little bit too predictable. It seems like they're pushing middle and banana a lot here. Shock's just waiting at T-Steps. You're not going to find much easier frags than that.
Cold and Taco going aggressive, but Kenny already there with the AWP. He's got the shot on Taco. Quite effective, quite easily. tries to slip back out. He'll get Jax, but Body's still inside of the doorway, wants to hold him off, and they get more and more aggressive. Because Phelps pushed the smoke on the opposite side, knowing Cold was taking aggression. That means they had to be getting someone up and fall, and look at that, out and wide. Finds two. Lucky and Shocks with one bullet.
That's not bad at all. Exactly what they needed. That's a bit of vintage Fallen there. Manages to get the collateral, and Coldzera pushing the apartments. This is looking so good. Can't quite find the kill on Body, but he has done damage and stays alive, so that's fine. 40 seconds remain here as the T scramble to make something of this round. Coldzera still pushing smoke, still getting information, as you can hear them wrapping around towards that A site. If he gets one of these kills, it's round done. If he goes down with nothing, GC might stand a chance.
Cold needs to be careful of the fact that Graveyard's covered off. Certainly didn't have that awareness because Body gets the free shot on the side of him. 2-on-2. Phelps already on the case, though. Bomb planted on the back of Cold going down, but it's all on Body, and they know where he is. Flash nearly cost them because it was thrown as Phelps looked away, but that was exactly when Body peaked. He almost got a free shot, but Fallen's got the angle, and it's now 7-1. This looks much better from MIBR than it did yesterday, and those smiles were not necessarily as present.
Well, the individual plays are coming out. We saw Fur, like I said, pretty predictable with his aggression these days. It seems like everyone's just waiting to start the round to see where he heads towards. He actually challenged it right down at the T steps alone without backup from a flashbang or anything. That's an audacious move, but here's Fallen recovering the situation. He almost got 3 out of that. That would have been insane, but he manages to finish off with 3 kills in total, taking out the last player towards a pit. Phelps did a very good job of actually attacking the site. Once he realized the bomb was planted, he can maybe steal a player away.
Yeah, he certainly could have tried to do so. The interesting thing, at 7-1 now for Brazil, take from that what you will, is quite simply the fact that Taco said yesterday, despite that this is a previous lineup they've worked with and something they're familiar with, there was a lot of nerves in yesterday's games. That was the debut for the team. That's how long it's been since the transition was made. Getting Taco back in, getting Phelps back in, and now, from when they had their opening matches, maybe they did just need to settle into it. Maybe today, maybe one night at sleep after 2 games, a couple shaky ones. Obviously, the Cloud9 loss was way off the mark from what they would have expected. Maybe that's all they needed, just one night to talk it over. You get Zeus back on board. He's familiar with how to coach these guys. Maybe they are going to be the whole new team that we expect from this point onward.
It's been a couple of months since any of these players have been in the tournament, maybe just warming up into it. It's never too late. They're only 1-1 right now, but this is a fantastic start. And Phelps looks confident. They don't seem as cagey as yesterday, and Fallen's hitting some wonderful shots here with the AWP. That's what we want to see. We want to see him and Kenny S go toe-to-toe here. Kenny will get 1 before he goes down, but 4 players survive for the Brazilians. They are 8-1 up here on the CT side of Inferno in this best-of-1 affair. G2 looking to avoid the 1-2 situation. Can be a little bit daunting down that. But for now, they do have AKs once again. Kenny S, no AWP. Not necessarily required on the T side of Inferno. Shoxy will bring in the AKs as well. These guys not opting for the Kriegs at all. A lot of teams have been having a couple of players on that weapon, but it's
Elijah's just going to main it all event. They already stated that he will. He's gotten to know the spray pattern. It's drastically different than the AK, but Elijah sees massive potential on entry with it. So
I had a thought last night. If you're a CT-sided player, right, and you're maining the AUG right now, would you pick up a Krieg over an AUG because it has more tap potential?
No, and I'm going to get back to that because this is a setup that needs to work for them. If Colt misses a shot, Taco's going to be in trouble. But he baits it in. Jax, good return. That's a bit aggressive from Taco to be that far down the hall. Usually we say you want to be both in a position that you can jump out. They wanted to bait him in. It didn't work. The reason I say no is for the same reason that it's not already being mained by more players on the T side. It might be a better weapon. There's an argument for it. DPS factor, forgetting the headshot, the one-shot potential of the AK. Fallen this time's not going to have quite such a spectacular shot over a B. He's forced off. Utility will hold them off. But because no one's gotten used to the different firing rate from the AK and the drastically different spray pattern, until we see it actually become a prevalent weapon in any situation, it's not like they're going to pick it up on the CT side. Once maybe someone's really... Maybe Elige will, because he's used to it, right? Someone like that, maybe he will, but otherwise, no.
The reason I ask is because in the Liquid NIP game yesterday, CTs were actually running past AKs to hold onto their AUG, and I thought, that's an interesting idea. Like, we've actually got to that point now. Would they favor the Krieg and have the best of both worlds? But either way, it is going to be Lucky to crack open the B side. It's another 3 versus 3 here, make it 2, as Lucky will actually continue to find frags. That's 2 in the round, and the bomb's planted. CT's pretty far away. We know MIBR are deadly on the retakes, however much time is remaining, and you can see Coldzera waiting for a mistake to be made. Will the T's peek for a bit of information? It looks like possible. Zeal, hold up now.
Keep in mind this will be a 4-round reset, so every kill is going to matter. If they can get the op out of Kenny's hands, significant, and it's very difficult for him to exit the site from that position. Phelps goes down, Kenny gets the shot. That'll do it. That'll get him out of there. No problem. They'll keep all 3 guns up.
G2 with the second. Like you said, 3 weapons surviving. Kenny's got the AWP once again. Money actually not fantastic for MIBR. That's how quickly Counter-Strike can change. You lose 1 round, have a close one before that, all of a sudden the game flips on its head. They're on the T side of Inferno as well. They're aiming for about 5 or 6 rounds, ideally a lot more, but considering the start they've had, we'll see what they're up against here. No armor, upgraded pistols, 1 smoke and a flashbang. G2 probably not fully aware that they're going to be this low, so they're going to just be running a pretty default round right here. You can see 1 player holding passively towards Banana, not actively going for the control. Want to make sure there's no aggression at the very start. There's actually a 4 stack from the Brazilians at that side of the map. Good grenade, does significant damage to them. Lucky they've got the bomb. If he goes down here, Matt, this could be disastrous.
Oh, he got... Wow, he still hasn't got himself out of it. He got very fortunate that he didn't get caught with his knife out. With the smoke down, walking away. Bomb is dropped, but luckily they already had attention turned back that direction. Shocks made good work of getting 3 kills, and the fact that they pushed Banana, as soon as they grab this bomb, he's going to confirm it's clear. They should just head straight to B with he and Kenny, but Jax, I say that, is already in A, so they could go back that way as well. Phelps. All right, Jax has done... Oh, he did. He had it right. He had it perfect. He cleared the site, and the only position they could have caught the bomb in transition from was top mid. He checked it. That's when Phelps kind of snuck in under the radar, but either way, Kenny went the safe route through the apartments.
Well, looks like they should be fine. With the bomb planted, I don't see Phelps being able to do much with this. And indeed, waiting at the bottom of middle, Shoxy will claim his 4th kill. A bit of a scary moment there when they push Banana. He got the bomb with the knife out, like he said. He manages to actually make a nice move and a good decision under pressure there, getting in towards the underpass and making sure he could at least stay alive for his teammates to back him up. He didn't lose the bomb in a horrible position, like right at the bottom of the Banana where the CTs are pushing. So he managed to at least get himself away from the action, and Shoxy could clean up. So it will be 8-3. Back on the AWP, no double AWP set up this time around. They are going to have 3 AUGs though. Taco staying true to the M4. Colds are at the top of the scoreboard right now with 12 and 8. As the CTs maybe batted towards B once again, but it's going to be Fur taking down the aggression, trying to get the control. He will be punished for it.
Fallen takes a nade as well, down to 58. He'll back off. He did use a bit of utility to safely secure the position. They've already rotated it back over as well. They've got Phelps towards CT spawn.
So at this stage, you have an opening pick on the T side. You have the majority of utility. You've got good map control towards the apartments as well. That is going to slow you down, though. Decent incendiary will buy a little bit of time for rotations here from the CTs. You can see Phelps considering it now as he transitions from the B bomb side towards A. But G2 with this advantage, as long as they send 5 players to one area, they should be able to trade this one out. coldzera not really in a multi-frag position, but he's getting it done. He's making it work as he gets 3 kills. Taka will back him up. That is fantastic work by him. They didn't expect him to be in the open like that. Most CT setups are very passive, and lucky as anything, but it actually goes down to the 1 versus 1. How has he made this happen? He's playing a great game so far.
He knows where Taco is as well. He knows he's stuck inside of the pit at this point in time. He could back off. He has the bomb. There's no need to overcommit to an A plant. He can actually book it to B at this point and beat Taco there, no question about it. But he wants Taco to have that shadow of doubt in his mind that he's already left, that he's going to walk out. Lucky pulls it back brilliantly. 4 kills to clutch it back, and it's now 3 rounds in a row for G2.
Finally, I'm starting to recognize why these guys got a bit of hype around them. I hadn't seen it up until this point, but they're looking sharp. coldzera and Taco managed to get, 4 kills in this position? Lucky comes in and just decimates him. It looked like this round is completely done for. Somehow he manages to make this play here. Absolutely wondrous second shot as he goes through the smoke there. So calm. And you got to ask yourself, the CTs, I understand they're trying to back Taco up. That wasn't necessarily the worst play in the world, but it certainly wasn't the most calculated. If they wanted to win the round, just holding up for that smoke and forcing him to make the next mistake, that would have been the way to play it. But still, Lucky, no one's expecting him to hit those sort of shots. That was absolutely astonishing.
Yeah, it could have easily locked them in at that point in time just by holding on the other side, but Taco's so low. They wanted, as you say, to support him. 9 kills for Taco, just to note, but Cold leads the way on 15. On the other side, it's Shocks on 12.
And running through smoke, since Fenrir's on the way, you got to have a grey screen essentially, and when you come out of that smoke, the T's can actually see you before you're on the CT side in this equation come through. So the fact that Lucky gets a bit of an advantage in that sense, he hadn't planted the bomb yet, he's almost fed those kills. Incredibly difficult shots, but he makes it work, and he's looking like a bit of a star today. That was very, very good indeed. Shoxy trying to get that banana control. The CTs have been very aggressive this game. Maybe a little bit too aggressive in the previous round after getting 4 kills and it all crumbles. It's going to be a frustrating one to give away. Bit of a stack towards the quad side here. We got 2 players there. We'll see if this will be enough. They're actually going to try and bait in Phelps. It's quite an interesting setup here. So the idea is you have this 2-man setup towards quad. If they kill both of these players, they won't suspect the third in towards that pillar position.
Flash covers off body completely. You're right. It's a different setup than what you're used to seeing, but it has a very clear purpose to it. Taco's also supporting to make sure that they can't sneak out the apartments behind them.
Molotov actually landed on their feet there, so both had to cut down. So not going to see that really come into full effect, and I don't think Fallen can do much here either. He might be able to get some damage off. Actually a kill, that's pretty insane. He manages to get that. He won't get anything more, but the fact he even gets one with just a USP and no utility is pretty good. As his teammates now will scramble and see if there's anything to recover. Can they take a couple of AKs away and maybe get out of the round with a rifle?
Planted toward oranges 1. Jax. He'll get a smoke down from Act 10. Kenny's already stepping up with the AWP. In fact, doubly so. He'll find Taco as well. Body got cold. First, really all that's in this. And let's see if he can get an AK-47. What a turn and a half. MIBR get 8. They were 8-1 up. We thought this looks spectacular. This is more what we thought we'd see. This is more of the communication. Everyone's getting kills. They're getting aggressive in situations, playing as a unit, as a team.
Dude, I don't get why the Nightbot even does that.
On the back of a few spectacular individual moments. Jax, by the way, only has 5 kills total. He had 4 in that round.
What did you even say? Like,
it's now 5 rounds total for G2. As we hit round
like
14.
once I get back to Twitch,
money this
so
time for MIBR. There's money for the rest of the half on the G2 side, but if they win this, they could make this 8-7 quite easily.
How's it going?
Well, win taken out of their sails. Will they continue to push positions and try and dominate the map? They don't have the AWP to fall back onto now. As rounds start to slip away. Great start from MIBR, but G2 certainly looking dangerous now. It's not the same old names we talk about, Kenny S and Shox, who are actually seeing some big plays on the young guns as well. Finally, they're showing their worth as we go into round number 14. Apartment's control, and that grenade could do a lot of damage.
For the Renegades
2 of them go
game,
through, and Jax is down to 26. Body not as effective, but he's got himself up towards quad, but not for long.
Taco gonna use the bike. Ooh, spots one just barely. Got out of the way as well. Kenny with the IEWP.
If there was actually like the top teams playing each other, then
the wall.
I don't know. I always watch like the
ICs
whenever there's like an international event. They're always interesting.
First solo B at this point in time, but not getting information on Banana. He's not scouting it at all.
He's getting
it's sort of cool seeing
I think that's the right call. You have the man advantage. Why do you risk everything with a solo play towards B? Hold the crossfires, run down the time up. And in terms of utility towards B, they actually have 2 flashbangs. That's about it. So no smokes to actually push back an execution there, but it doesn't look like G2.
I reckon MIBR should win this.
They get that mid control. It's Kenny has to try and open things up.
G2 have been getting back in it.
Takes down that initial threats, but a trade comes through, but the CT's still with the advantage here.
Certainly.
Which is pretty good.
Hold inside of the side, Taco.
Sleep at the moment.
Cover quad.
Dude, look at this
chicken. Down in front of library. That suggests, rather makes it obvious that in fact they are going to rotate that position. Flashes as well. Cold gets caught.
I don't know how familiar you are with CSGO now, but now.
Perfect. Oh, he nearly is.
Now
Snapped
the
up high as well, but Jax just
weapon.
barely got away with one. 22 HP. He's got a clutch again. Bomb down. Both rotating over from the B site. No kits on either player. Og for 1, M4 for the other. 2 flashes. No smoke. It's going to be a heads-up duel. They'll play this for trade. They'll go together at every possible instance, and they'll go relatively quickly on this. Jax could actually get a lineup if they don't check the proper position toward Graveyard. Headshot potential for the AK. He's got to look the right spot. Knows and sees and lines up. He's got both again. Brilliant from Jax.
How does this keep happening? G2 are digging so deep in these rounds. It looks like that had no chance. That position as well. You'd think it'd be a trade, but the timing works out perfectly for him. He's looking towards Abs, Quad, Arch as well, trying to work out whether they'll be heading towards both in the same position for the mentality you described. They're trying to trade it out. They're trying to play together and have a 2-on-1 situation instead of 2 separate 1-on-1s, and that actually leads to their demise. They both get taken down with the spray.
So it's cool to see them back together.
With just MP9 to FAMAS, an M4 for Taco.
It might take a bit of time for them, because obviously the games, they're not going to be able to play exactly how they played before. The game's changed.
Too catastrophic.
The meta just keeps on developing.
Passive, then trying to open
but it'll
things
be
up.
interesting if
CT's trying to get the beat control at this
get
point.
back to that level that they were,
just to
see if they can beat Astralis.
Get them some control of this area.
Speaking of Astralis, Renegades
wants to get
do
down
play
there towards the bottom.
Astralis in like an hour or so, maybe 2, depending on how fast these best of ones finish.
Fur and Fallen, most notably on B, by the way. I mentioned that round. It was a round that he took a lot of flack for, Phelps. He and Fur pushed on 15-12 in favor of MIBR. Lost. Economy broke. They went to overtime with G2. Lost the map. G2 went on to the finals and won the event as a result of it. And it shouldn't have happened. Body, good find on Cold. It was over-aggression from 2 players of similar style in one spot. Fallen's a little more calculated. He'll play this correctly with Fur. They rotated Phelps off that position as a result of it, but ultimately, it is what led to his departure from SK at the time. He didn't like the pressure, he didn't feel that he deserved to be there, and he took it very personally at that point in time. Good find from Phelps. He makes up for it now, and this is what they talked about. He's matured in INTZ, and he's come back over for a reason.
Really great half of Counter-Strike there. He's had so much high-octane action, lots of clutches, and looks like the stars are shining today. We'll see if we can have G2 close things out and make a bit of a comeback after this break.
Astralis is the best. Fuck. Where to go? Dude, I just want to kill him. It's right in my head. Fuck. I'm gonna pull out my desk. Kenny S still the best. Kenny S was never the best. He was one of the best, but never the best. But yeah, Charlotte, they've won. Like, they're easily the best team in the world at the moment. And Renegades play them.
On my own, when you spill that rum and coke on my t-shirt, yeah, your eyes make it difficult.
Because basically how the group stages work now is basically, because it used to always be a Swiss system. Like, I mean, it used to be something else completely. It used to be GSL format, but basically, recently, with like the new challenger stage, the main qualifier, whatever you want to call it, it was just a Swiss system with best of ones. Then they made it a Swiss system with best of 3s to be able to advance. No, not to advance in the 2-2 game. So if you were 2 wins, 2 losses in that match, you would play a best of 3. And then this major, they've made it so it's best of ones for all the matches, besides the ones where you either advance into the next stage or you get eliminated. Oh yeah, that would have been Astralis versus Virtus Pro. Probably out of them, the first major that they won together. But yeah, so that's what they've done, and then now they've got proper seeding and everything, so it's really made so the best teams will get through, because there's a seeding, the players, like the teams, they rank every other team at the event, and you get the average of, like, you know, what they think about every other team, and then based on that seeding, the best team will always face the worst team in like a certain bracket, so that way the best teams are going to get through, and if you're an underdog, it's going to be so much harder, and if you do get through, it's more proven, if that makes sense. Yeah, Virtus Pro, they didn't make the major, so Katowice, if you don't know, is in Poland. It's sort of disappointing that
we get back underway in our best of ones. It's a 1-1 decider match between MIBR, who had a very slow start yesterday, and G2, who we never know what to expect from. It's 9-6.
MIBR lost
had a bit of everything, I think.
It certainly did. It looked like MIBR going to run away with the initial half there, but Kenny S with the 1D, he opened the floodgates.
What would you say if I told
some amazing rounds put together. The individual stars absolutely shining there, and we're starting to see a bit more of the Lucky and Jax as well, who managed to perform under a lot of pressure here. It is 9-6, but G2 now on the CT side, the more preferred half, and we'll see if they can win the pistol where I would say much needed. And MIBR's T side is where they usually have problems on this map. We'll see what they can do as Jax and Body now to be challenged behind the smoke. smokes. Damage inflicted though, and it's going to be a very fast wrap towards the A site from the MIBR boys.
Fnatic.
Fallen and Taco immediately on the case. Jax is going to
back
inside smoke. He's
stage.
trying to just stay alive at this point in time. Shocks will give him
I'll turn
so,
this
but only
down.
for so long. Fur down. Cold gets the response.
But
planted. Lucky and Shocks. Lucky absolutely destroyed.
at the new challenger stage, Fnatic, they got knocked out. So they lost. They lost to Vici. They lost to G2. I'm trying to remember who else they actually lost to, I think. But like the biggest upset out of all of them was that they lost to Vici Gaming. And they went out 1-3, I believe. So that was pretty disgusting from them. But you know, fair enough. And because they came in with, I believe it was the highest seed, or one of the highest seeds, they got the easiest run possible. They played the worst team in every single stage, but they just kept losing. Astralis was their roster. Device, Zipnix, Glaive.
We'll see if they can get any sort of damage done here. You can see they still have their smoke, so they can treat this like a gun round and try and buy as much time as possible. As soon as they detect a threat, drop a smoke and buy themselves some time, and hopefully
let me go over this again.
As they possibly can.
So Device, Glaive, Zipnix, Magisk. Fuck, who's the last one?
But a great repeat. Jax on the
Have I said 5 or 4? I swear I've said 4.
He wants to spray it, smoking themselves
Glaive,
out. They'll transfer to the corner.
Device,
That's the angle removed, and it also means they've got to step in deeper toward the pit to get the peak in that angle, and as a result, 2 players at Library become a lot more relevant.
Fuck me. Dude, I know I can look it up, but I should
try and spot in with their teammates. And Taco's aware that they could be in the corner.
Got Device.
Who's going to drop off, not wanting to get sprayed through.
You got Zipnix, you got Glaive, you got Magisk Boy. And then
2 toward quad ball there as well. He'll enter now. Smoke's gone. They can start to just go in and look for the vision directly. Taco and Colds.
Dude, don't look this up for me. I need to remember.
I thought for a second there, GC might be onto something, but it's a nice
Device,
from the Brazilians there, making sure they didn't overcommit and run into the side.
Magisk,
There's nice pick control from Taco.
Zipnix.
Up on the half. Broken wall there, managing to take the initial player down, setting up his teammates to finish the round off. Lovely shots here from Jax. He was on 3 HP when he managed to get another kill as well.
Right,
look at that. 3 comes out, manages to take the player down in pip. Unfortunately for them,
I know this, but I just can't remember. What the fuck? Dude,
a couple of P250s.
I don't want to cheat, but
out in the next round as well, so that's good to see.
What the fuck? So there's Device,
Happy
Zipnix,
saving a rifle. That's about as good as this round can get for them, unless
Magisk,
I'll make a terrible call and decide to push a position where they're stacked. But there's no stacks.
Glaive.
We'll start sending another player over towards the B side of the map. That's going to be Kenny S rotating.
I'm looking at this. I'm gonna be like, oh fuck, I'm an idiot.
Heavy presence towards A in the previous
Yeah, fuck, I'm an idiot, Dupree. Dude, I had his face in my head, but I just couldn't remember. But yeah, so that's the roster. Renegades currently, they've got Azza, JKS, Jakim, Gratisfaction, and Liaz, which I think is pretty cool.
100% clear where they'll be going, but Phelps nowhere fast.
Astralis should completely destroy Renegades, but I'm calling it Renegades. They're gonna win the major.
11-6.
They've gotten this far for a reason. They've finally broken their curse of failing at the new challenger stage, and I feel like they're finally gonna fucking do it.
Taco dropped. Another AK down. Keep that in mind for later.
They've made it this far. Astralis is gonna.
To that, I should say, for free. He's already got great return on investment with the 2.
I mean, they should, but they're not going to, which is gonna suck for Astralis.
Does he want to push and get more kills on the Mac 10? I think he's better to just go pick up the AK.
Obviously, I'm biased, but I'm just saying it because
so we're talking about that idea
I
of
believe,
going in first.
But like from like a proper standpoint, obviously Astralis they should be able to take down Renegades. I mean, I feel like Renegades, they've adapted to this meta really well, and they have been really good. Like, they haven't lost a game yet at this major, which is pretty good.
Ideally, you want to lose the SMG, right?
Yes.
I mean,
that's you really don't want that for the next gun.
Where are Renegades from? Dude,
cool, really.
come on,
Get him
man.
in there. He probably gets a kill if you just set it up
Dude,
correctly.
they're our
overall,
team.
3 players survived.
You should know
It's a
this.
massive deal
They're
for MIBR.
Australian.
They've got money in the bank here. They're 12-6 up. They got the 3-0 again. So as far as they're concerned, everything's good. But
So of course I'm going to be biased.
hitting today. He now has the AK-47 on the CT side. That is very beneficial.
Like, so Renegades to get to where they are, so in the new challenger stage they beat Avanga, Nip and Ents, and then in the new legend stage they beat Ents, and they've beaten FaZe, and now they're playing Astralis. Basically whoever wins